What's up, YouTube? My name is Mike, and I've been collecting games for almost 15 years now. Last year, I tried to focus on one system and build up my Game Boy collection, which worked to varying degrees. I'm happy to say I'm taking the lessons learned from that journey to start my next one, and my system of choice is none other than the original Xbox. Except this time, I'm adding a little bit of a twist. We're going to try and go for the complete set, so come along for the ride as we build the ultimate OG Xbox collection. After the Game Boy collection came and went, I spent a lot of time off deciding what I wanted to focus on next. A lot of my best gaming experiences growing up came from the 6th generation of consoles, so I know I wanted to put my focus there. The PS2 is my most played system of all time, but I've been collecting that for a while now, and I feel pretty satisfied with where I'm at. With the GameCube, I knew I wasn't going to have the budget for that, and that's what led me to the original Xbox. It's a system from my favorite generation of gaming that I've experienced the least, but it's a system I've always admired for its character. I don't know if it's the green cases for the games or just the bulkiness of the system itself, but I love its character. And on top of all of that, it's pretty darn cheap to collect for, which made it perfect to be my console of focus for the foreseeable future. So what's our goal this time? There are 894 games in the original Xbox library, and we're going to try to collect them all, with the exception of one game. The Guy game is a trivia game released in 2004 and is a pretty valuable game. However, it does carry a dark history that I don't really feel comfortable with, so we're just going to skip that one. That leaves us with 893 games to collect. On top of that, we're also going to try to optimize our gaming experience the best that we can, a much easier task than the first one. I'm fully aware that collecting a complete set of anything isn't exactly an easy task, and I'm not even sure it's possible with the budget I have, so I think of this as sort of a test for myself to see if it's even possible to begin with. Lastly, this challenge is going to take a long time, and things might not flow in a steady line, so be mindful if you haven't heard from me in a while. Unless you see a finale video, the journey isn't over yet. And now with all that out of the way, let's get started. The first thing I needed was a system. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of this, but back at my parents' house I had 2 Xboxes, and they both didn't work. One had a bad disk drive, and my replacement model that I used for a while, even soft-modded, died to the infamous clock capacitor leak. When I made my move across the country, I left it all behind. However, when visiting over the summer, I had a genius idea. What if I took the disk drive out of the dead Xbox and swapped it with the bad one, making one working Xbox? And guess what? It worked. We now had our system. I shipped it out, and while I waited for it to arrive in the mail, I started to get a bit organized. I'm using a mix of price charting and the Game Eye app to track all of our games. I've amassed a bit of a collection over the years, so we're starting off with a little over 100 titles. Not bad if you ask me. We'll worry about getting those games to my new place on a different visit. I then did some studying on some rarer titles and their prices. It looks like our big ticket items are going to be Futurama, Teen Titans, Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, Steel Battalion, and Spike Out. All these games are going to cost us well over $200, so we'll have to get creative when we get to that point. It looks like right now the most expensive games I own are Conquer Live and Reloaded, Simpsons Hit and Run, Ninja Gaiden Black, and Crimson Sea. It's not a bad way to start. I then just spent a lot of time browsing price charting, as well as watching a few videos on hidden gems of the Xbox to create my first list of games to find. I'm going to be starting on some cheaper games, either from my childhood or games I always wanted to play. Luckily, I was already able to find a few both at my local game store and online at Lukey Games. These will be able to hold me over until I get the bulk of my collection over. And now we have nothing else to do but just play the waiting game until our Xbox arrives. As you can see, we have a long way to go, but I'm excited for the journey that lies ahead, and I hope you are too. Tune in next time as our Xbox finally arrives and we really hone in on making the best gaming experience.